chose not to have the surgery. He chose to rest and relax and hope it goes away. And then he ended.
We took a look at Gilmore, and if we got Gilmore, we win in the division. I feel like, you know what I mean? I feel like Stephon Gilmore.
Richard Rodgers. He's with our team over the last couple of years. But this is about our fourth time picking him up. What does that mean for...
Welcome to another episode of Bird Gang Nation Sports Talk. I'm your host, Bird Gang 31. And today, we got a very special guest, new Eagle content creator, JT with Eagles Talk from Delco. How you doing today, my guy?
I'm doing good, my brother, man. Glad to be here with you.
Heck yeah. Go ahead and give everybody, a little background about your channel. What made you start doing this content creator thing?
Okay, well, I'm sort of a newbie here. Born and raised here in Sharon Hill, Pennsylvania, which is Delaware County, which is a Philadelphia suburb. I live literally 10 minutes away from Lincoln Financial Field. Hey, I mean, if you're born and raised in this area, I mean, not much of a chance to be a fan of any other football team than the Philadelphia Eagles. And like I said, I was just born into it. For years, I would say about maybe 6 years ago, I had interest in, bringing the channel together, and I just procrastinated, always talked about doing it. But like I said, a lot of stuff has happened over the years, and it's like I said in my introductory video, it's like I had no choice but to get this channel started. It was time for me to get up off the sideline, get in the game. I know we're, one Eagles nation, I think one channel at a time. We're going to take this YouTube thing over, and brother, I'm just glad to be part of it, man. And let me take this opportunity to thank you because, you reached out to me, the very first day when I got started. Like, it was exactly a week ago when I put my first video up, and I appreciate, showing me love and, giving me tips on what to do. And I definitely appreciate you bringing me on your platform tonight, brother.
Hey, no problem, man. Much love to you and everybody else. I was the same way, man. You know what I'm saying? I've only been doing this for a little over 2 months, almost 3 months now. You know what I'm saying? It's a grind, but I definitely appreciate everybody that do it. That's why I kind of made up my show this way, to give back to the content creators, the beat writers, the coaches, the players, anybody that want, supports the Birds, you know what I'm saying, and help them, start their journey, just like everybody helped me start my journey. So much love to you too, my guy. Thank you for coming on my show. It's an honor for me, just like it is for you. So, hey, let's get to it. How do you feel about our Birds this year?
Well, I mean, geez, where do I start? I mean, this is, around this time last year, I mean, I just couldn't get into football because of everything that's going on, with the pandemic. It was just like really hard to, get hyped up for football. And even the season itself that we had sort of was like a microcosm of everything I felt going into the season. But this year, some unexpected things happened. Number one, I never thought that this soon we would be trying to look for another starting quarterback again. That problem was supposed to have been taken care of. I mean, we should not have been in this position for at least another 8 to 10 years. But as you know, our guy, I don't even want to say his name, but, he's gone, and Jalen Hurts is now the new guy in town. Doug Peterson, after he won us our first Super Bowl, I always said Doug can coach here for as long as he wants to. He's done something no other coaches have done in his franchise, which is bring us that Lombardi Trophy. Now he's out the door. So, what happens now? A brand new regime. I was really, really pushing, for Deuce Staley, to get the job with the Eagles.
Yeah.
And it seemed for a moment that, that was going to come to fruition. But, here comes, Nick Sirianni, Mr. Rock, Paper, Scissors. Now, what I will say is very, very excited. Now, I don't know what to expect, with this team to look like, but there's always a level of excitement in the unknown. And, I like a lot of the moves that we made in the offseason. I mean, I don't want to jump too far ahead. I know we're going to get into that. But I like a lot of the moves we did, even some of the more recent ones. I have a really, really good feeling about where the team is headed. There's less drama than there had been in the past few years. And I'm just looking to see, if this team, can build upon the, what I've heard all through training camp, this morale has been built, around a new quarterback and a new coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just ready to go. I mean, I don't know what to expect, but like I said, I'm just super excited, man.
Oh, yeah, man. It is Hurts season, baby. And I am super excited and super fired up to see what Hurts can do this year. You know what I'm saying? We got the young guns out there. We're going to be making our marks early this year, I believe. I just want everybody that was, fans last year that seen that 4-12 season. And they think that all of a sudden, because we have 4-12 season, that we're not a winning football team. And that's just not correct. We've been a winning football team for the last 15 years. We won the Super Bowl 5 years ago, and we've been constantly in the playoffs. So it's time for everybody to get back on track and realize what team they support, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles, and we are a winning organization. You know what I'm saying? So, I hope everybody understands that was a fluke, and let's get to this season, and watch our Birds win some games.
Absolutely. And it's always definitely holds true since Jeffrey Lurie has owned the team. Now, listen, I just turned 45 years old, so I seen the Buddy era, and lived through the Rich Kotite days, the Ray Rhodes, and and then when the Andy Reid era came along, I mean, that's really what changed the culture of Philadelphia Eagles football. I mean, we had those great defenses in the late 80s, early 90s, but we're never ever able to get over the top. But yeah, you're right. I mean, history over the last, 20 plus years says that this is a winning organization. We've had some flops. I mean, but if you've seen the top of the millennium, the 2000s, what Andy Reid did, I mean, 4 straight NFC championship games.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we should have come out with at least 2 Super Bowls, but
oh yeah,
I guess it wasn't meant to be. But history says, especially in recent history, that this is a winning franchise. The owner, while some things may have changed since we won the Super Bowl, he's always been, all about trying to do the best things for this franchise. For the most part, stays out of the way. Like I said, that has changed up somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, anybody be a fool to bet against this franchise. I mean, turning things around. I mean, it's already been proven. It's been done, and I really feel good about us doing it again.
Oh, yeah, man. This is our season to come back for redemption. I consider it our redemption season. Like we had that Super Bowl year where we're underdogs, you know what I'm saying? And it took everybody to come together and to win that Super Bowl. And then, the next year we're underdogs midway through the season. This is the first season I see that we are underdogs from the gate. You know what I'm saying? Everybody started lighting that fire early this year, and I think it's going to backfire against the rest of the league. You know what I'm saying? This was the team with all this young talent, with all this young ability, that you probably wanted to wait to the middle of the season before you lit their fire. But no. You started off the whole offseason doubting these guys, telling these guys what they're not going to do, showing these guys that they're not respected across the league. So they built a fire that I see, you got guys like Quez Watkins where people were even thinking that maybe wouldn't even, be on the roster or maybe even be like, the 5th or 6th receiver. He done pushed all the way up to the starting receiver spot, with his Tyreek Hill speed out there. You know what I'm saying? Like he's going to be a guy to wreck with this year. Then we go to the draft. We get, Heisman Trophy winner, Devontae Smith. You know what I'm saying? This guy, no receiver has even won a Heisman in years. You know what I'm saying? But this guy went out there and did it. You know, yes, Jalen Waddle wasn't there, but Jalen Waddle not being there put more pressure on Devontae Smith, you know, to be the lead guy. And he definitely did not disappoint. You know what I'm saying? You've seen the championship game where he pulled off 3 touchdowns before halftime. You know, so this guy's definitely ready. I've already seen the highlights from the practices, from the joint practices, you know, all these like game situations that he has been in. And he is separating from cornerbacks. You man, I feel bad for all the rest of the league with these cornerbacks.
Yes, indeed. Couldn't agree more, man. You know, like I said, and you spoke on Quez Watkins. I mean, he and John Hightower, when the season ended, I mean, I hoped and prayed that these two guys would go into the off season and just train like crazy. I mean, it's like I said, I didn't expect them to be like Pro Bowl players off the bat, but I had so much hope for these guys. Now, Quez, he had the one big play last year against the Cardinals, and you know, we all saw it right there. And, you know, you knew that coming out of college, but I think the knock on him was that he had some sort of maturity issues. And that's might have been what knocked him down some teams' draft board. But he did what I hoped he would do. I mean, and not only just, you know, displaying his speed, I mean, you could tell that he's definitely made a concerted effort to work on his route running. I mean, I've seen it in the preseason. I mean, and I appreciate, you know, especially a young player like that, willing to work on the craft and not just rely on the God-given talent of having speed. He really went out there and worked his tail off, and I'm super stoked to see what this kid does. Like I said, I don't know what the offense is going to look like, but I think he's going to be a really big part of it this year.
Heck yeah, man. I think he's going to be very explosive. And, you know, saying like, hey, I wouldn't even mind if he continues this track and end up being our best receiver. You know what I'm saying? We held Devontae Smith as the number 1 receiver right off the jump just because of the talent that you know that he does possess. But he is only a rookie. You know what I'm saying? The expectation for rookies always vary, you know, depending on that first year inside the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as he stays healthy, I do believe he will be elite, you know, eventually one day. But, you know, Quest has had a year to understand the rookie game. He's had a year to go into the offseason prep. And the way he's prepared himself, man, this guy's going to be electrifying this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as he continues to do what we've been seeing him do all offseason, man, he's going to be a big handful to deal with in this league. But let's jump to some of the new news with the Philadelphia Eagles. How do you feel about the Gardner Minshew trade? You know what I'm saying? What's your take on that situation?
Well, you know, it's like I said in, you know, the video I did on it. Like I said, to me, it is nothing more than real estate planning for the backup quarterback job going into 2022. Now, like I said, I like the move. I mean, this is typical Howie Roseman. This is how we've been and how we rare form. You know, I mean, what's their lose? I mean, the guy's Gardner Minshew's 25 years old. I mean, he was productive. Now, he was playing for a not so good Jacksonville Jaguars team. But, you know, like, what do they got to lose? I mean, a 6th-round pick that could turn into a 5th, you know. And like I said, this gives them another year. You know, we know Joe Flacco isn't going to be back next year. So, hey, if the opportunity was there to pick up a player like Gardner Minshew to be your backup going forward, I mean, listen, I'm all for it. Like I said, it's a typical Harry Roseman shrewd kind of move. I mean, one of those real sneaky moves that, you know, will pay off down the road. Now, listen, we know that Jalen Hurts, you know, we hope will take the reins and be that guy that we think he can be. And like I said, you know, I'm comfortable with Joe Flacco. I mean, Joe Flacco should be the number 2. You know, if God forbid anything were to happen to Jalen Hurts, if he got injured or just fell flat on his face, I do have confidence in Joe Flacco. But I love the fact that they went out and made this move because, like I said, it covers them on the backup quarterback job at least one more year after this one.
Yeah, man, he's a gunslinger over there in Jacksonville. You know, he had his good, his bad, and his uglies at times, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, 25 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, you know. I think that he'll be a better fit for the offensive scheme if Jalen Hurts were to go down. You know, I am one of those guys that hope that Jalen Hurts plays all 17 games. And the only time we have to worry about a backup quarterback coming in is week 17 because we got the playoffs locked up. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of all these injuries with our team. I'm ready for us to be healthy, be it like all the other, competing teams out there, and stay healthy throughout the whole season without having to worry about any real major injuries. You might get one or two, but the way it's been going lately with 3, 4, 5 of our star players, down, that's been really rough for us, and I'm ready to get out of that times. And
I'm right there with you, man. I'm sick and tired of it myself. I mean, I haven't never seen a team, through a 5-year stretch get hit with these many injuries. I mean, for God's sake, the Super Bowl year. I mean, all the starters we lost, and you figure, okay, hopefully we'll get a break. And the injuries has just been consistent. Like I said, I'm right there with you, man. I'm tired of it. I want to see. We can't control injuries. I mean, it's a part of the game.
Yeah.
But I think we're due for a season where we can have all of our players healthy. And
I think.
I'm just with you, man. I'm right there with you.
And I think what Nick Sirianni do, that goes to my next question. Do you think the Eagles did enough this offseason? I mean, this training camp with these joint practices, did you see enough of the Eagles, to feel confident about this season? We got a lot of fans out there that don't understand how these, joint practices really work, to the point where they're like, they want to see more Jalen. They want to see more Quez. They want to see more Devontae, which is expected because they are the young guns on our team that we are expecting to do big things. But, everybody listened to Nick Sirianni talk about it. He's played 7 preseason games in his eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like, the ones go against the ones. They have, tackling to the ground periods in these joint practices. And the biggest thing that I took out of it is that every time we had these joint practices, our ones dominated against the other team. We dominated the Patriots 2 days in a row. We dominated the Jets 2 days in a row. So, it's good to see the evaluation process happen in the preseason game. And I'm one of those guys that I hope that, we get 3 or 4 joint practices in the offseason, and just use these preseason games to evaluate the talent we have on our team.
Well, see, you know what? I'm kind of, mixed on it. And it goes to given the fact that, okay, like for instance, say like if we still had the same coaching staff in place and we already knew what the offense was going to look like, with the, schemes and stuff were going to be. And I've already said this before. I don't think you can, simulate a game situation just through, joint practices. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not effective, but, for me, looking at this team, not knowing what to expect. I mean, I guess a lot of us, we just assume that the Eagles are going to look much like the Colts did, but it's really no way to tell. And, we haven't seen the offense in its entirety, everybody healthy and sync at the same time. We don't know what they all look like together. Now, like I said, I haven't been able to be down at the practices. I've only seen whatever highlights they put on, whatever beat reporters, putting their highlights on Twitter or PhiladelphiaEagles.com. But it's really hard for me to try to parlay, what this can mean as far as, doing the joint practices, versus preseason, because I don't know what they look like altogether. Now, the offense was extremely, extremely vanilla all preseason. And you got to sort of expect that. Now, I don't blame the new coach for not wanting to tip his hand. I mean, we could say the same thing for the defense. They didn't blitz hardly not once, anytime this preseason. So, like I said, I get it that you don't want to tip your hand. But like I said, it's just really hard to say. It doesn't stop the excitement, But the way I'm going to look at it is if Nick Sirianni believes that, this method is going to work, he knows what he has, like you said, the practices. We don't see what he sees. So if he's that confident that these joint practices will have these guys ready to suit up to go out there for Atlanta in a few weeks, then okay, I'll roll with it. But, like I said, I'm just kind of, iffy because I'm just not sure.
And on one side of it, you also heard the players say, we're out there going against ones all day. They're not letting really the backups, really get in there and go against the ones. It's all really ones-on-ones in these joint practices, and it works so far. You see all the big names that already went down this preseason, playing this vanilla style offense or defense that they like to play in the preseason. You got ETN in Jacksonville. You got the Rams running back went down. We just had another guy. Another guy just went down yesterday, I think. What was his name?
Dobbins from the Ravens.
Dobbins, KJ Dobbins, they went down these preseason games that don't mean a thing, you know what I'm saying? And fortunately, this is going to be the first game, hopefully throughout these next 2 weeks, everybody stays healthy, that we actually have a full staff, for all of our starters up and ready for game one, and so obviously something that he got going on there to me seems like it's working, and I'm happy for it. Like I said, I am a fan too, first, where I did want to see some more Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts connections, because I'm one of those guys, I want to see them shut the media up early. You know what I'm saying? Get them out of your hairs early. Tired of all the doubters. Let the doubters go away early in the season. We could have did it this preseason, but on the other hand, too, keeping our plays, sacred is another thing. These joint practices, other teams don't get film of that. So that was a way to actually work our offense, work our defense without giving away too much to anybody else. So, like you said, it's a give and take. It's a give and take on both sides, but I'm happy that he decided to do it this way, and I can't wait for the season to start.
Yeah, and to actually expand on that, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, this is the first time we're heading into, game one with a full complement of players. Now, that part of it I do like, if this was their, way of trying to get everybody to the, regular season healthy, well, that's good. I mean, because we haven't seen that in a very long time. But like I said, it's the reps and and live game action. So it's like I said earlier, if Sirianni feels that the joint practices are just as good or better than the preseason, that's fine. But like I said, I'm only speaking because, like I just said earlier, I don't get to see the practices. I'm not down there at the Novacare when they're practicing. So I'm speaking, from that point of view. Like, well, I don't know what things look like. But hey, he's the coach. I mean, if this is what he feels, I'm rolling with it. I'm looking forward, going down to Atlanta, which is always historically, no matter if it was Mercedes-Benz Stadium or wherever wherever they play, it's always been hard for the Eagles to go down there and win. But I'm ready,
Hey, I'm ready too. Julio's not there because Julio was always, a bird killer over there, man. Julio Jones always light us up, and I feel like if we had Atlanta later on in the season, I'll probably be a little bit more worried about it. But week one, I think that's the perfect time to go in there and get that W. But we're gonna get to that one later. Yeah, they said we ain't had that in years. Oh yeah, see in prime time. Yeah. We don't have that many primetime games, but I think by the middle of the season, we got the NFL's got all them flex schedules out there, you know what I'm saying? That I think once the Eagles show that we are that legit team coming out this year, we're going to get flexed into some of those spots.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. We putting up 40 in Atlanta. I hope so, man. More than 40, 45 even. I want these guys to go out there and just shock the world with their play that we have going into that first season.
Well, both of these teams are in somewhat, similar positions. New coaching staffs. Like you just mentioned. Julio, thank God, isn't in Atlanta anymore.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is what I would call, one of those 50-50 games. But I mean, I like what you're saying. I mean, I would love for them to go down there and win 45-10. I mean, I'll take that all day. But like I said, I think both of these teams are very, similar. Atlanta. Well, like I said, I don't want to jump too far ahead. I know we're going to get into that, but this is pretty much, Matt Ryan's last stand, and
oh yeah,
it just seems to be like they're doing everything they can to give him everything he needs to try to take one more crack at it. But we'll see.
And see, I made a video about the Young Guns, you know what I'm saying? I even went out and find the old, that movie Young Guns with Emilio Estevez and those guys, and I changed it up and put all the Young Gun faces in it. If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. The video's uploaded on YouTube. But the Young Guns to me is Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders, Devontae Smith, Jalen Reagor, Quez Watkins, and Dallas Goddard. What is your impressions of the Young Guns going into the season?
Well, okay, let's start with Goddard. Very similar to Zach Ertz. Dallas Goddard, his career trajectory is starting off the same way. Remember Zach Ertz back then? He flashed a lot earlier, but we didn't really get to see that Pro Bowl Zach Ertz until about his fourth year in the league. And Dallas Goddard, he's been hampered by injuries, but you can definitely see the flash. I mean, it is definitely in him to be a top tight end in this league. And overall, the Young Guns, Smith and Watkins, and I really like it. I think this is the best set of Young Guns that we've had since Shady, Deshaun, and Macklin those days. I mean, this group right here is the next best group of the potential. They can even surpass that. Devontae Smith. Oh my goodness, the route running, Chris. I mean, unbelievable. Now he's a small, slender guy, but you can't jam what you can't touch. And
Right?
I'm like super excited for this kid. I mean, I think this is going to be the best homegrown, meaning receiver that we drafted since Deshaun. And I think he's going to do big things. We spoke on Quez, Goddard. And I even take it, a little step further. Well, the young kid we got, Tyree Jackson. Now
Yeah.
it's way early in the process, but listen, this kid is 6'7". I mean, runs well. I mean, looks to me like he's adapting to the tight end position. Now he isn't going to be much use to us this year, but if he continues to progress, I mean, you talk about young guns. I mean, you got to name them Young Guns Blazing.
Right.
Blazing, change the name from Young Guns to the Blazing Billies. I mean, that's the kind of potential that I see, and I'm so glad for our franchise because I mean, we go years where 2019, 2018, when the receivers were live. We didn't have a burner. We didn't have this. We didn't have a guy who can catch over 600 yards in a season. I think all of those things are about to come to an end. I'm super excited about this young group.
Dude, speaking of Tyree Jackson, I really feel like, he said Zach Ertz is going to play a big part in teaching. I think that's what it was, I think that very first practice that Zach Ertz came out there, you seen how he's standing over Zach while Zach was on his knee. He was telling him, hey, your stock is down, my guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get what I want, so I'm not going to trade you. You know what I'm saying? So ever since then, you've seen Zach become more of a mentor. You see him start busting his butt in practice, you know what I'm saying? Building up, good steam, going into the season as being another elite tight end like he always has been, And I think with the emergence of Mr. Tyree Jackson, it's unfortunate that he had his injury, you know what I'm saying? But it was a 10-week injury, and I think the trading deadline's about week 7. Around that time in the league. And I really think that all Howie's really going to be doing is building that freaking stock up for Zach Ertz. Let him get out there, let him get some touchdowns, check out the rest of the league, see who's getting hurt. Because I think a couple of tight ends have already dropped him for the season, already, Can he get what he really wanted to get from Zach Ertz? It's going to take him to be out there and be a leader and make some plays to get his stock back up to get it. And come trading deadline, I think Zach Ertz might be still gone this year. We expected it to happen already, but Howie's a smart man in those type of situations. He's gonna let his stock build back up, and once that trading deadline comes back, and then Tyree Jackson's coming back to practice, I can totally see him pull the trigger on that move.
Absolutely, and the thing about this, about football, there's another side to it, and that's the business side of things, and between player and the franchise, sometimes the business goes bad and, bad feelings come. Now, we all know Zach had always maintained that he wanted to be here. He was looking forward to the contract extension. I guess they promised him, listen, anytime Howie calls Zach to do a restructure to help the team, Zach was always willing to do it. I mean, going under the guise that they were going to reward him. Now, unfortunately, the business side of things went sour. Obviously, he and Howie had a public feud, where they were arguing before a game last year. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Zach, it's listen, it's like this. I root for the team. I mean, listen, I love Zach Ertz. I mean, he helped us win a Super Bowl. I mean, he is the best tight end I've ever seen in the franchise.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, that business. It's just business, and I understand. From his point of view. He had to watch these guys like Austin Hooper and all these tight ends sign these big money deals. He thought he was next in line. It didn't happen. Howie Roseman, on the other hand, I applaud him for sticking to his guns. Everybody was so certain that the Eagles just had to take whatever they can get, and that before the draft, that Zach Ertz to be dealt with, they'll just have to take a seventh round pick. Howie is sticking to his gun. He said, listen, we're not going to just give this guy away. I mean, and I believe him when he says that they do value Zach Ertz.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Zach Ertz is only I think 27 catches away from the all-time catch record. I mean, I think that's the record he deserves. But like I said, but it's we go back, it's business. So you're right. Trade deadline comes around. If Zach, now this is what I will say. I think it depends on where the Eagles are. Now, if the Eagles are, to say by surprise, 6-2, around that time, I think, now unless a team comes and blows them out of the water, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
with a pick, it might just be more beneficial to just keep them. I mean, like I said, because if things are going that well, and that means things are going well for Jalen Hurts. I mean, you don't want to subtract, anything from Jalen Hurts, especially if things are going that well. But you're right. But if things are sort of blah blah, and they look at Tyree Jackson, and he's practicing and he's looking good, and the team comes along, and you could be right. Maybe it's done. I mean, New Orleans just lost their tight. Now, I don't know how good their tight end is, but they just lost the tight end. So, and that happens, and maybe that's one of two things that Howie was banking on. Well, look, I can drag this out for as long as I need to. Worst comes to worst, I could just keep Zach. I don't want to trade Zach.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give up leverage or allow. Nobody defeats Howie in a trade or any kind of deal. Remember,
Right.
Howie doesn't lose deals at all. So,
hey, shout out to the 12 in the chat for coming in. Please hit that like and subscribe to both of our channels. Both links are in the description. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this guy up to his first 100 on the ASAP. He is definitely a great Eagle content creator out there. And we're going to keep supporting him like we do all other bird content creators out there on the show.
Appreciate
what do you say? The difference maker is going to be Sweat. Let's unleash him. Yes, man. I am a huge Sweat fan, man. I think Sweat's going to be dominating this year. I think Sweat definitely going to put a hurting and get double-digit sacks this year. How do you feel about Josh Sweat this year?
I mean, is there a guy that you could be more happier for than Josh Sweat? I mean, suffered a devastating knee injury in high school. He did make it to the college ranks, but the medical reports were this was a guy that if you draft him, he won't be a second contract guy, that knee isn't going to last. But, man, he has improved each and every year he's been in the league. And, like I said, I'm so happy for Josh. I mean, I'm happy, hearing all the reports that he's been dominant in training camp. Listen, Derek Barnett, the Eagles invested a lot in him to step up and be that guy. Brandon Graham is coming down to the end. We needed that next dominant end that was going to step up. And I'm happy that Josh Sweat is doing the things that he's doing. I mean, I'm all for, people who put the work in and, get the reward from their hard work. And this guy, I mean, I'm loving it, man. I'm loving me some Josh Sweat right now, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Josh Sweat's going to be a beast out there. I said Zach Ertz is loyal and they did him dirty. Like you said before, there is a business side to this, and we don't know what written on behind scenes, with Zach and Howie and what they talked about and what they didn't talk about. I know Zach really wanted Carson to stay, and I think he was a little salty a little bit after Carson left, and what went down with Carson Wentz. So it's just like one of them things that at the beginning of the offseason, I was like, hey, Zach, you don't want to be here, my guy. You are the best Eagles tight end we've had in a long time. But at the same time, if you're not ready to play with the Birds, then we don't need you on here. I'm tired of all this, inner team beefing going on. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's picking sides left and right. There's only one side, and that's the Eagles. And everybody that's here on this team needs to be on that one side and that one side only. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I think Zach is professional enough that it won't get that ugly with him. I do believe he loves it here, and that he loves Philadelphia. He loves it. His beef isn't with us. It isn't with the fans. I mean, like I said, it's just when bad business gets in the way of things, I mean, it has a way of drifting everything apart. And you're right. I think Carson definitely was one of his best friends on the team. And no, he didn't want the, squad to break up. But like I said, I believe, he has, enough professionalism to where he won't mope, he won't try to distance himself from the teammates or the fans. I think he'll come in and he'll give, like he's always done, he'll give it his all. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, Milton Williams too. What do you take from Milton Williams? How you like this guy? Do you think this guy's going to be an elite pass rusher this year as a rookie, making this mark in the league? Or you think, that's a little bit too high for him for his rookie year? We just need to relax and he's going to do his thing once he does get a chance to play.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, he's been disruptive, every time he's been out there. And you're absolutely right. And I've spoken on this before about, labeling young players, putting too high of expectations on young players because when they don't meet the expectation, we as fans sometimes have tendency to turn our backs on that player. Say, "Oh, he's not that good." But I tell you, I've liked everything I've seen and everything I've heard from Milton Williams. Smaller guy. Was what, about 280 something pounds. Short arms, but he's a beast. I mean, and I'm really loving how they're playing him on the outside at defensive end. They can move him inside, outside. He has that kind of position versatility, and it can only help. I mean, the defensive line rotation is already strong. So if you could bring a guy like that in, with a high motor and be that disruptive, I mean, it's just overall the better for the defensive line. But I really like Milton Williams. I mean, I watched the kid's first press conference when he first came. And he said he's just a worker. I mean, he comes in, he doesn't let the people, people talk about his size and he's not big. And well, there's, and I'm not trying to compare him, but there's a guy out there in LA named Aaron Donald. He's not that big, only 280 something pounds, but look at what he can do. Now, I'm not,
people have compared him
I'm not
already.
saying that Milton is
So
going to
you wouldn't even be the first to do it. People have definitely compared him to Aaron Donald already. What I'm saying? Like you said, we won't go that far yet. I want to see what happens in the regular season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just talking from a build standpoint.
Yeah.
All
Athleticism and all that.
Don't jump on me. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not trying to,
Hey, much love to you, Sports Talk with Birds. Good job out there. The nation always shows support to all the guests we have here on the BIRDGANG Nation Sports Talk Show. Man, much love. Thanks for supporting my guy. He said, "Are you from Southeast Delco, bro?"
Well, Southeast Delco. Well, that's the name of that was the name of our school district. But I'm from, like I said, Sharon Hill. It's like it's in between Philadelphia and Chester, Pennsylvania. If he knows Chester, Pennsylvania, it's like in between. Like I said, my town, we're right on the borderline with Southwest Philly. Like 5 minutes from the Philadelphia airport, a 10-minute ride away to Lincoln Financial Field. Like I said, born and raised there. Yeah.
He said he lives there in Southeast Delco.
Where at? What's the name of his town?
What up, Sonic? Oh, thank you a lot. Yeah, you got another sub there. Smoke a lot. Said he's in subbed you up. That's what's up, guys. Thanks for showing love, my guys.
Definitely appreciate it.
Boston Scott, I love the Jukies. I love Boston Scott too, my guy. But I gotta talk about Kenny Gainwell, man. That last preseason game, Mr. Gainwell showed up and showed out. He ran the ball good. He caught the ball good. He ran his routes good. How are you feeling about Kenny Gainwell this year?
Well, I'm going to put him in that same category, that I just, spoke about younger players. Now, I'm going to be honest, I didn't know who Kenny Gainwell was until they drafted him. But from everything that I've seen, what they talk about most is his pass catching ability. So when I had a chance to watch him, he looks really good as a runner as well. I mean, and we love that, dual threat running back. I mean, he's very fast, like I said, good hands. I mean, we haven't had that kind of dual threat back since, in my opinion, Brian Westbrook, Darren Sproles.
Yeah.
Shady, he wasn't a, like a primary pass catcher where he caught a lot of balls. Shady was just was the best runner I've ever seen for the Eagles. But, I really like this kid's potential. But again, guys, this is a process, I think he'll have a nice little role on the team this year, but I think it's going to take time for him to grow. And, hey, Memphis, they put out some really good running backs over the years.
Yes, they do.
I mean, that one out in Dallas. What's his name? The backup to Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard. I mean,
Pollard.
Which is pretty much, the same kind of running back. So,
and Gibson from the Washington football team.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Yep, definitely.
He said,
even all the way back to D'Angelo Williams. I mean, they put out some really good running backs. So, like I said, I'm just really excited, to see, how he can blossom in this offense.
He said, yes, I live in and near Shannon Hills.
Oh, okay.
5-10 minutes away from the airport.
Okay.
He said, Chester, stand up.
Okay. Yeah, I got family in Chester.
Delco knowledge is on another level. That's what's up, Big Play.
I appreciate that.
And then he said, I go to
Big
academy.
Play. That's my right there. Yep, yes, sir.
Yeah, that's everybody's little guy, man. Big Play shows the most love out of any person I ever met on this thing. You know what I'm saying? I
I
remember
tell
when
you,
I was.
I really like that young man. I was on with him on Philly Notions channel on Friday.
Mhm.
That young guy, he really knows his stuff. I mean, I look forward to talking to him more. I mean,
Dude, him and Sports Talk with Let's Go Birds, those are some young guys, man, that know their football. You know what I'm saying? I love having both of them on the show. Like those guys, you can talk to them about football, and it's just like talking like me and you. You know, they are
right.
younger, so you expect them to be a little less knowledgeable about it. But even with Big Play Slay, he knows about every team in the NFL, not just the Birds. He be speaking on all of them, man. It's crazy.
Absolutely,
I love those
he
guys.
speaks well on it. I mean, he definitely knows what he's talking about. I
Mhm.
appreciate that when having conversation. Like I said, I could talk Eagles all day, all night. So I mean, I
Oh
just
yeah.
people who can bring something to the table, some sort of substance to a conversation about football. It's nothing I love more.
He says, I live in New York, baby, even though it's where the enemy lives. See, right? You right in the middle of both of them. The Giants, my guy. Huh.
Uh,
I'm glad you're an Eagles fan, though, my guy. I'm glad you're an Eagles fan. He said, RIP to 7-year-old.
oh yes, yeah, we had a very unfortunate situation at Academy Park High School in a shooting where a 7-year-old girl lost their life.
Oh, man.
This past Friday. So yeah, rest in peace to that little girl.
Rest in peace. Hey, much love. Prayers go out to your family. Big Play says he's 99. He ain't no young bug. He 99 years old. He's like got that Benjamin Button thing going. All right, what we got next up here? Okay, let's jump straight to it. Who you got winning Week 1? Atlanta versus Philadelphia. Give me your breakdown of the game.
Well, it's like I said, to me, that's a 50-50 game. The Falcons, for the most, Julio's not there anymore, but Matt Ryan, I think, he may have 2 to 3 good years left of football in him. Oh, and speaking of which, I watched, some of their preseason game. That kid Kyle Pitts, when he caught that first pass, I actually thought that was a wide receiver. I mean, did you see the way this kid could run for a tight
Yeah,
end?
when I seen it, first I wasn't that impressed with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause it took it a minute to turn it upfield. You know what I'm saying? I think in a regular game, you take them many steps to turn it upfield, you're going to get hit.
Exactly. Yeah, he
You
did.
know what
He
I'm saying?
did
You're
kind
going
of
to get
jiggle
hit.
around, but once he got
But
going,
once he got going, though, yeah,
he
he
was
got some
moving.
speed on him.
He
He
was
got he
moving.
got he was moving, yeah, that's for sure. But like I was saying earlier, like I don't really think I think if we had him like once he's more developed, seasons into the season, you know what I'm saying? I really don't think that he's gonna do that much damage against us week 1. You know what I'm saying? Like we have players on the roster that already done covered him.
And
We had Jacoby Stevens covered him pretty good already in college, So I'm more worried about Calvin Ridley than I am Cal Pitts.
yeah, we'll see, and that's the other thing. I mean, let's get into our secondary. Beyond Slay, Nelson, and Maddox, to me, it looks really, really ugly behind those three. Now, Nelson, like, I'm okay with the signing. I mean, especially for what they signed him for.
I wanted
And,
Howard.
was that?
I said I wanted Howard. I didn't want Nelson
Oh, Xavier
at
Howard.
first. I wanted
I kind
Xavier.
of
I
knew
wanted
The Dolphins were never going to trade him. I mean, it just never made any sense. He ultimately got what he wanted. It was just with some more money, and which I knew would happen. But hey, I was right. Hey, listen, that would have been the guy. I would have traded, whatever it took to got him. I mean, him
Howard's
and
like.
Byron.
I mean, Nelson was like third on my list. I wanted Howard first, and then I wanted us because I found out we had them joint practices with the Patriots, and I wanted us to go ahead and sneak over Mr. Gilmore, for a 2-3 year deal with our team. I thought that would be a good mentor slash lockdown cornerback we could have used. And then I wanted also Richard Sherman before he messed up his career and did
Yeah,
what he
like I said,
did. And I thought Richard Sherman would be a good 1 or 2 year deal with Richard Sherman would have been a good idea.
yeah, prayers out to him. Hopefully his mental state is improved. Like, I don't know what that was, but like I said, hey, shout out to Richard Sherman. Hope everything works out. But but getting back to it, what I will say is, Atlanta's defense, They're very fast, but they're really small. Now, where we have an advantage, I think, is our big offensive line against that defensive front.
Mm-hmm.
If we can, run the ball, which, we've been screaming for years, for whether it was Andy, or Doug,
Yeah.
run the football. I think that's going to be a key element in this game. If we can control the time of possession, pound that rock, and that's going to open up things for our big play guys, Quez, Devontae Smith, Jalen Rieger. I think we hold the advantage there. Our offensive line against their defensive line, I think, is a stone cold lock for us. So if we can control the line of scrimmage on that side, then I think we can win this game. Maybe score, in the high 20s. Like I said, now on the flip side, our defensive line, against our offensive line, I think is another advantage for us. Now, our linebacking core should benefit in front of those guys playing in front of them. And what we're hoping is what that does is that will mask anything bad that happens in the secondary. So I actually, like I said, it's a 50-50 game. And you're right. And you did make a good point. I even think about it. It is a good time to go in their first game of the year and get a W. So I do like the Birds in this game. Like someone do a little bit more studying in the next couple of weeks, try to find out more about that team. But I definitely like our chances to go down there and win our first game.
Yeah, you mentioned the linebackers, man. Wilson and Singleton have had a good, training camp, preseason start here. Wilson, what was that game? Singleton had like every tackle for like 9 straight plays in a row. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think these guys are both 2 tackling machines that are going to get out there. And with that, like you said, with that line in front of them, the rotation, I think we have a top 3, top 5 line in it. Defensive line and offensive line in the league, as long as they all stay healthy. That rotation is going to be strong. And with those type of tacklers on the outside, man, I think our defense is going to be much improved from last year in Jim Schwartz's Sticks defense.
Oh, man, the Sticks defense. And, I'm going to quote Philly Mike on this. The Sticks defense is disgusting. I never, ever want to see it again. I mean, I think back to the year after we won the Super Bowl when we lost the game to Tennessee. When we had a 4th and 15 in that game, we played the Sticks defense. And I think it was Corey Graham that gave up the first down. It was bad. I mean, the Sticks defense is terrible. It works sometimes, but I'm just so glad. And listen, I don't want to trash, Jim Schwartz. I mean, he's just a guy, he believes in his scheme, in his system. He doesn't believe in blitzing. He likes his down 4 to get to the quarterback and let everything else take care of itself. But it was just time. I mean, it was time for a switch. I mean, I wanted to see a new defense. We all got our wish. But,
I'm just ready to get back to blitzing. Schwartz didn't blitz enough for me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I missed the Jimmy Johnson days where you just brought the fire. You know what I'm saying? You had linebackers blitzing. You had safeties blitzing. You had cornerbacks blitzing. You had loop line stunts and all that good stuff.
They had Dawkins blitzing.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, we didn't. That's why I really think Jim, what they call him, JG, is going to bring this year. He's going to bring back the blitzing. And I think that's really what we really needed to get back to, He said, do you think JJ did enough to beat out Fortnite? JJ, okay, that is a question that we've been talking about too today. Do you think that touchdown that JJ Arcega-Whiteside made, did that put him on the 53-man roster, or is he still getting cut?
Well, no, no. I think he's here. I mean, I've said this, for JJ, every training camp that he's been here, he's done everything that's been asked of him to do. We didn't have really preseason last year, but, his first preseason, I thought he was going to tear it up. He was catching everything, caught a couple touchdowns, but it's just in the regular season, it doesn't come to fruition. I don't know what it is. I don't understand it. But, but he shows up to training camp, when he's on special teams, he's murdering everything moving, he's catching every pass. I think he's here. I mean, I honestly believe he's on the roster.
And like he said, she kind of liked the Sticks defense on 3rd and long. Yeah, long, but yeah, it's play and prevent. Yeah, that's what it is. But let's get to these guys that are coming off the injury wire here. How do you feel about Landon Dickerson is going to start practicing, baby? I think that Landon's a beast, and I kind of think they're kind of messing it up. They should have waited until the season started before they took him off this, you know, IR thing. Because once you put Landon on the field, he's the type of guy. He's not gonna want to leave the field. You know, he's gonna want to stay out there and then prove his point. Because I think he's definitely gonna be one of those next generational talents at the line position.
Well, honestly, I'm not going to lie. I mean, the injury history, really, really scares me. Now, listen, I'm all for, if you're a team drafting upon the offensive and defensive lines, I have absolutely no problems with it. Now, I know this kid is a really tough kid. I mean, he played in that championship game, I think, with a torn ACL. Mm-hmm. But like I said, having that many knee injuries.
Most of the injuries came before Alabama. I think even at a stint in Alabama, he had 26 straight games without missing the game. So a lot of those injuries came, when he was in Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
people don't really know very talented player. I mean, had it not been for, those such things, I mean, this guy might have been a top 15 pick. You're absolutely right about the talent and, the beast, he has it in him. I mean, and, that's what we're, known for. We like our big, ugly offensive linemen to get out there and do big, ugly things. But like I said, it's just the, and it kind of harpens back to the Sidney Jones, back in 2017. Similar thing coming off an injury. And at that time, I was super stoked, for Sidney Jones. I thought that was going to finally solve our problems at corner. But unfortunately, it didn't work out. He's no longer here. Now, I'm not saying that that's the same thing that's going to happen with Landon Dickerson. Mm-hmm. But what I want is that if he does play this year, that it's just like in mop-up duty to get him, some experience. But if he didn't play this year, I mean, I would be totally fine with it because, like I said, it'll be a whole nother year removed from that. And now the injury just happened back in December. So by the time the season starts, that'd be roughly 9 months since it happened. And like I said, it's hard not, to be concerned. Now the talent, like I said, his talent and toughness, that's not a question. And his pedigree as a player, I mean, that's all intact. But like I said, I just pray that this kid, this can be a second contract guy, because you're right. I mean, he does have that kind of ability. And, we don't know what's going to happen with Jason Kelce. Well, Jason Kelce says he's going to retire every year, and he doesn't.
Yeah.
But, I guess the plan was always to move Sayamalu over to the center. And if Landon Dickerson come in and man that left guard spot, man, it'd be beautiful. And he can stay healthy. Man, we are rock solid, for years.
Shout out to my good boy, Tone DeShields II, big time YouTube content creator. Much love for stopping in and showing some love, man, my guy. We definitely got to get back on the screen together and do some more work, my guy. But thanks for stopping by. Sub my guy up. I'm saying we got a new Eagles content creator in the building, Eagles Talk from Delco. Go hit that sub for my guys. Help get him on his way. But yeah, with Landon though, I want to see Landon come in around week 7. Because I think he, like the weak link on our line, if you really want to be, real about it, is Sayamalu. So I'm not saying Sayamalu is not a good football player. Obviously, he's good enough. We won a Super Bowl with the guy. But I think there's any position that he can't take over, and that'd be his. The left guard spot. Maybe by week 6, week 7, it'll be an upgrade. So it's not like I feel like it'll be an upgrade to the point where it's like we're not really hating on Sayamalu, but we're just making our line better for the back end of the season. You know what I'm saying? Because I really think that he's a road grader and he can play that left guard spot at a high level. And he is a big man. And putting him on the side with Mailata together, now you're looking at both sides of your line having some beasts on both sides. You know what I'm saying? You got 2 road graders on both sides. And Miles Sanders will eat so well, behind that line. You know what I'm saying? Also, it's going to put him right next to Jason Kelce in case we do decide next year when Kelce leaves to move him over to center. He'll be able to hear all the calls, right then and there. You'll be able to see and play with Jason and see why he made the call. You know what I'm saying? They talk it all out on the field as opposed to being in, mentorship and practice. You know what I'm saying? So that would be my hope is by week 6 or 7, go ahead and give the boy a chance and let him get out there and play his Sayamalu spot.
Okay, I respect that.
Her season put on his back. Yeah. And then the other guy that came off injury is Rodney Mccloud. You know, he said he was going to be ready week 1. Do you think he's going to be really ready by week 1? You know?
What a report is that he's only done, individual drills, like no real heavy practicing. Now the season is just 2 weeks away. I don't see how he can be ready, for the first game. If he is, I mean, I think it'd be a miracle. But I honestly believe, that we could be looking at Marcus Epps, to start, opposite Anthony Harris. But McLeod,
Ooh, you don't even
Mr.
think
Reliable,
Kayvon will be back.
it was Wallace. Let me. What do you think about Kayvon Wallace?
I think Kayvon's a good talent. He was supposed to have been one of the best safeties last year, right? And I know they played him out of position last year. You know what I'm saying? And plus that sticks defense is, I don't think it suited him very well. But with our new defensive scheme, even though we don't know it, but from what I hear from it, they got him playing the position he should be playing. And I remember that Patriots, right before he got hurt in that Patriots joint practice, he was balling out, you know what I'm saying? Like he was doing good, with Rodney Mccloud being out there. And he was even chopping it up with Cam Newton that called him glitter. Remember, Cam got so mad at him, he called him glitter in his press conference after the end of that game, you know what I'm saying? So,
And
you
they
know,
can't beat us 35-0.
right? But see, that was like third and fourth team. Cam was going against the second, and I mean a second/third team when he was in there, and he's a starter. So I wasn't even really worried about that. I'm not that big of a fan of Cam no more. I
Right.
think ever since he started dressing up weird and funny, his game has kind of went down. Plus all the injuries he took, being a running back there for the Panthers, they used him like a running back all the time, and that's what made the injuries start building up on him. And I think Mac Jones is probably gonna take his spot. But back to, our team.
Well, see, I can appreciate, even somewhat reckless bravado from a player, but from a young player like, Kayvon Wallace, I mean, as of right now, young man, everything is to be seen, not heard. Now,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he was chirping with Cam, but, Kayvon Wallace, now, until he really starts to establish himself, I would just rather, just come out and show, not tell.
Yeah.
But you're right, at Clemson, and obviously, the connection with Brian Dawkins being from Clemson. Now, you know how our fan base can be.
Mm-hmm.
This is the next Brian Dawkins. No, this is not the next one. There isn't another Brian Dawkins.
Head up Brian
And
Dawkins, man.
let this kid, grow and develop, and then eventually, hopefully down the line, he can win for us. But like I said, that's my only thing with that.
I think he probably developed enough to play like a game or two, so we don't have to rush McLeod back out there. You know what I'm saying? I know they're saying he's back in practice doing those team drills, but I don't want him starting week 1. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been hurt the last couple of years, and it's you got to like kind of ease him back into it. At least let him sit the first 2 games, because that give him there's 2 weeks to the game plus 2 more weeks. That'd be 4 more weeks after you say you're ready to go back out there. Then maybe week 3 roll him back out and see how he plays.
yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I'm one for thinking that we might need to go out and find another veteran safety. I mean, that's just my gut feeling on it. I mean, same thing with cornerback. Now they may just go ahead and slot in, maybe a guy like Elijah Raleigh who can play
Mm-hmm.
both corner and safety. Now
Mm-hmm.
he's a name that I've been hearing in camp that sort of has come on lately.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Adams. Well, was nothing more than a backup with
Mm-hmm.
Tampa, but he's made some plays out there. So maybe they just decide, okay, we're just going to ride with what we have. But I would feel better if they got another veteran, or at least look the scouts, see if they can find another veteran. And then when McLeod comes back healthy, then that's a pretty good tandem. Anthony Harris, we know what he is. Very nice player. Led the league in interceptions. The season before last. He
Mm-hmm.
knows this defense, so that's a definite plus. But like
Yeah.
I said, I'm a little leery on the secondary overall, outside beyond the starters.
Yeah, I like hearing what I heard about coming out with McPherson. He got some fight in him. I seen him out there battling it out a couple of times. Like he's developing pretty decently. For a rookie. Like I did like yes, he had some balls caught on him, but he was right there to make the tackle. You know what I'm saying? Like, And I feel like, it was good that we did get Nelson not to put the pressure on McPherson to start the beginning of the season. And I think by mid-season, you might see some good play come out of McPherson, and going into next year, he could be a guy to watch out for because he was a ball hawk in college. And, he came from one of the smaller schools, but he definitely, could get his hands around the ball. But, yeah,
Absolutely. Yep. The Patriots worked them over pretty good in that preseason game. But like I said, it's to be expected. Like I said, I thought, from the time they drafted him that this was more so down the line, not for this year. Like I said, let the kid coming from a smaller school. He's on the biggest stage you'll ever be on. Let him learn what this league is about. Study the wide receivers. You go back, look at what it is you did wrong. Work on your technique. I think that's more for down the line. But
yeah.
definitely he has the traits. Even the times he got beat, he didn't sulk. He just moved on to the next play. And I do like that out of a young player.
Yeah. They said, do you think our doctors that evaluate our injuries need to go? Yeah, like yes and no, I guess. It's like not just the doctor's decision; it's the coach's decisions, it's the players' decisions. It's kind of like a threesome where they all get around together. But like I said before, I think Sirianni and these guys know what it takes to keep these guys healthy. You know what I'm saying? And that's their main focus versus all whole offseason was to keep these guys healthy going into the season. And from what they're doing, obviously, whatever they are doing is working because we're going into the season fairly healthy. So, I don't know. You know, Deshaun Jackson, even if you want to look at last year, Deshaun Jackson, him sitting out most of the year, that's kind of Deshaun's choice too. He said he didn't want the surgery. He's going to try to rehab it. They probably were pushing him to get the surgery earlier, and he didn't. He's like, I can rehab it and get back out there, and it didn't work out in his favor. You get those situations too. But I think these doctors, they're all NFL level quality doctors. I think they know what to do. It's usually the organization and the player that determines whether they get out there or not.
Yes, and they've already changed medical staffs, I think, the year before last. How many times can you actually do that? Deshaun, yeah, you should have gotten the surgery for the sports hernia, much earlier, last year. Like I said, everything was bad last year, with everybody. But like I said, and you hit it on the head. The approach that the coaching staff has taken. To try to get all of these guys to the regular season healthy. Maybe that's just all in one. We're going to do whatever we can. To get these guys healthy for week one, and well, it looks like it's working. So listen, I'm all for it.
Yep, man. So we went over the game. We went over the players. Who are your big players you think they're going to make the most impact? Give me 3 impact players for the season this year.
Okay, well, I'm going to start with the quarterback. Jalen Hurts. He is the guy. The trigger man. This is his time. This is the best possible position he could be in. The Eagles have done everything they can to give him, every opportunity to succeed. Give him the wide receivers. He's got the tight ends. The offensive line. He's number one on the list. Number 2, I'm going to say Fletcher Cox. I think this is a really big year for Big Fletch. Definitely, in my opinion, the second best defensive tackle that we've ever had, in the organization.
Mm-hmm.
And Fletch, even though he's gone to the Pro Bowl, the last few years, that's pretty much been, so much on reputation. He hasn't been the dominant Fletcher Cox that we're, seeing from old. So I really think that this is a big year because I think it may decide what they decide to do with him. If they decide to move on, listen, I want Fletcher to be, an all-time Eagle great. Don't play here, but listen, I've seen Brian Dawkins leave, seen Reggie White leave. I'm kind of quoting Philly 500 because I feel the same way. But if he doesn't, show that he has that capability, this could be the end for him. And I think he is the key to the lineup. Javon Hargrave, I'm very happy about everything I've been hearing, and we already talked about the defensive line, but Fletcher Cox to me is the second, most important. The third, big man out on the left, Jordan Mailata. Now, we talked about Josh Sweat. the second guy I'm the most happiest for. A guy who his first lick of American football is as a professional football player. And boy, has he transitioned into something. Now,
Yeah.
Andre Dillard, what can you say?
What do you want to do with Andre? You want to keep him or trade him?
Oh, no, I'll say keep him. I'll talk about that in a second, but Jordan Mailata, just a massive human being. 6'8" was like 350 pounds. The agility and the power. I'm wondering, do you think it's beneficial for them to do a deal with him now or wait until middle of the season or next year? That's my third guy, by the way.
I would say middle of the season. Middle of the season, because I think Jordan's he's happy with making the money he's even making right now. I don't think it's going to be that hard of a contract for Howie to get. Wait till the middle of the season, make sure he's playing at the elite level, before the season ends. You don't want to wait that long if he is playing that high, but wait till about the middle of the season, to make sure he is going to be that left tackle in the future, and then go ahead and give him a contract. I don't think it's going to be one of them contracts you have to worry about him being the top, highest paid, left tackle in the game. That probably be a second contract coming up after this one,
Right.
to get him there because I think he's happy with the money he's making. He probably never thought he'd even have a chance to make some money. So you kind of got a, advantage over negotiation talk with the guy. You probably get him in on a sweet deal, team-friendly deal right now. But then the next one, if he continues to play at the high level, you got to break the bank for him.
Yeah, see, that's the thing with left tackles. They get grossly overpaid. Just an average left tackle because it's such a premium position, and it's just like the pass rushers. Half decent pass rushers, get paid really, contracts. And you look at Big V, how Pulivaati Vaitai, if he left here and went to the Lions. Got a really big deal, but hasn't played anywhere near it. But those tackle positions, they're really hard to come by. So somebody will overpay. If he does make it to the market, if he has a decent deal, somebody will always fork over.
I was always asking him, would you want to see Mailata on the goal line? 4th and goal to go. Go ahead and let Mailata get back there in a power back formation and run that rock for the touchdown. Because I was thinking, you run him behind Brooks. Brooks is already a beast of a man. You got Mailata and even throw in a fullback somewhere in there. I don't think there'd be anybody that'd be able to stop that for a yard.
I think it's coming. I don't know when, but I think it's definitely coming. How can they not try it?
For tight end on Jacksonville, hopefully Zach Ertz. We can trade him. I still want to see that Zach Ertz trade go to the Jags. And let's give us CJ. Bring him the young buck over here. Let JG work with him for a year and let him be our starter next year. He says Kels Waller and a sleeper, TJ Hawkinson. Yep, those guys are some good guys to pick up. Shout out to Philly Mike. What up, my guy? You know what I'm saying? He said he snagged Smith the 8th and 9th round. Yeah, man, my tight ends, I got Goddard. And who was the other tight end I got in my draft? It was another guy. He's a low-key. He played for the Bears. Commit. I think either one of those quarterbacks, they're not going to be that great right off the jump, and they're going to be using a tight end a lot. So I picked up Commit for my tight end.
Oh, y'all talking about fantasy football?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I never got into fantasy football.
I love fantasy, man. I have use 4 or 5 teams every year just to, mix it up. The only part I don't like about it is what I'm. It's the Eagles game, right? You want your team to win, and then you need the other good player on the other team to do good for you. So you're sitting there, cheering for your team, but when the player do good, you can't even be 100% mad at them. Like, yes, but no, yes, but no. What I'm saying? Sitting back there confused in the head because you're like, I do need to win this game, so keep on doing what you're doing. But Eagles, stop them.
Yeah, I could just never get. I never could get into it. Never.
Hell yeah, I'll be there, guy. Hit me up. You know what I'm saying? We definitely got to get on a screen too again, my guy. So much love to you. Okay, we've been going about 1:10, man. Let's go ahead and get to this final segment I have. I'm ran out of questions here on my little question board here. I need your all-time Eagles lit team. This is your team. There's no wrong answers because they're all Eagles, so they're always going to be right answers. You know what I'm saying? But I like doing it because we always find new people that make the team every week. Everybody's favorite team is not everybody's favorite team. We're older, so we definitely have a longer list of players to throw on the team. So I'm gonna go ahead and break it down, give you the position and how many players I need from you, and we'll see how it goes out. See if we can get some new guys on the all-time list here on the Bird Game Nation Sports Talk. So we're gonna start out with the quarterback. Give me a quarterback and a backup. Who's making your team?
Well, all-time quarterback, I'm going to go Donnie back, number 5, Donovan McNabb.
Big 5 in the house.
Yes, sir. I'm going to go Donovan. Backup, I'm going to go to backup of all backups, Nick Foles.
Nick Foles. Nice. Let's go with running back. Give me 3 running backs.
Okay, I'm going to go Ryan Westbrook.
Okay.
Actually, no. First, Shady McCoy.
Shady McCoy.
Ryan Westbrook. And I was around, so I'm going to go Wilbert Montgomery.
Montgomery. Nice. Give me 2 tight ends.
Zach Ertz. And I'm going to go Brent Selleck.
Selleck. All right. Give me 4 receivers.
I'm going to go Terrell Owens, Mike Quick, Deshaun Jackson, and Jeremy Maclin.
Mac Dog in the house. All right. And who's going to be start on that offensive line and block for these boys?
Okay, from the left side, left tackle, I'm going to go Jason Peters.
Nice.
See, left guard, I'm going to go. No, I can't do him because he was such a nutcase. See, who do I want to put at left guard? I'm going to go Jermaine Mayberry at left guard.
Mayberry. All right.
Center, I'm going to go Jason Kelsey. Right guard, Brandon Brooks.
Oh, yeah.
Right tackle, Big John Runyon.
Big John Runyon. Nice. Let's flip over to the defensive side. Who's starting on that defensive line, my guy?
Definitely Reggie White, that left end. Fletcher Cox, D1. Jerome Brown, D tackle number 2. And this is a tough one. I don't want to go. I was going to say Clyde Simmons, but I'm going to go Brandon Graham.
Brandon Graham. All right. Give me 3 linebackers.
Seth Joyner, Jeremiah Trotter.
Trot Dog in the house.
And jeez, who can I put on the other side? I'm going to go Oh, I need another linebacker. Who can I put? Carlos Emmons, one of my favorite.
Oh,
players.
there you go. You brought a new person to the squad. Carlos Emmons debuts on the linebackers for the all-time league. I like that. That's why I loved it, man. It's always someone new. I like it. Give me 3 cornerbacks.
Okay, this is going to be easy. I'm going to go Eric Allen, Asante Samuel, and I'm going to go Troy Vincent.
Oh, yeah. That's nice. And see, with cornerback, you can keep going. There's so many of them that were good back in the day. Give me your 3 safeties.
I'm going to go Brian Dawkins, Malcolm Jenkins, And I'm going to go for a hitter, Wes Hopkins.
Wes Hopkins?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we got another new person on the list, Mr. Hopkins. Nice. Nice. I like it. You know, my sleeper was Michael Lewis. I loved Michael Lewis playing for the Birds back in the day. He's a hard hitter.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Let's
yeah,
go,
I remember Michael Lewis.
let's go with the kicker.
David Akers.
Hands down, punter.
Dhani Jones.
Dhani Jones.
I mean,
Yes.
I'm sorry, Donnie Jones. Not
Donnie Jones. Yep,
Donnie
yep,
Jones.
yep.
Donnie Long.
Who's going to be the defensive coordinator on this squad?
Jim Johnson.
And the head coach?
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid, Big Red, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's mostly everybody's favorites, Andy Reid, man. I definitely show. You know, I still root for Big Red, you know, as long as he's not playing us. And this year,
Exactly.
I hope that we definitely.
Yeah, we haven't beat him yet. He's 2-0.
We got to get him this year. That's my upset game of the year. It's us beating the Chiefs this year. We're finally going to get you, Big Red. We're coming for you. We're finally going to get you, man. You think we can get him this year?
I hope so. I think we can. You know, like I said, I think our defense and offensive line will give us a chance.
Heck yeah, man. Hey,
and the game is here, right? The game is here in Philly this year.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like our chances.
Yeah, man.
I
think we got a chance
get
this
you,
year.
Big Red. Love you. We're gonna get you.
We're gonna get you. You gonna taste that L, Big Red. You're gonna taste it one time. You done gave it to us plenty of times. Plenty of time. I'm done with that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Buddy Ryan was a great coach back in the day too. Yeah, I like Buddy. You know, he did his little thing too. I ain't gonna hate on Buddy Ryan. But hey, man, thanks again for coming on the show. Shout out to the kid in the chat.
Can I give you one though? Let me ask you though. What do you prefer, Kelly Green or Midnight Green?
Oh, I got a sick Kelly Green jersey though. A Randall Cunningham. Dang. You know what? I'm sticking with the Midnight Green, man. Kelly Green's good, but I'm traditional. We're going with the Midnight Green, baby. That's the Eagles' true colors right there. You know, we don't need no alternate colors around here. We sticking with it. But I am gonna be happy, you know, next year when they let the Kelly Green jerseys come back, like to do an alternate jersey, you know, to play us a couple games. I'm down with it, but you know, don't ever change the Midnight Green, baby. The Midnight Green. That's why the only jerseys I keep behind me are the Midnight Green ones. The Midnight Green ones, and I do like the alternate black jerseys too. I do like those too. Yep,
I love those as well.
I got that one behind me. You can't really see that one, but yeah, man, those are some good jerseys. He says he likes the Kelly Greens, and it's not that I don't like them. You know, I like the jersey. I like all the Eagles jerseys. I even like the ugly blue ones. Everybody hates. The old school Eagles, the blue and yellow ones. When I be playing my band, I always switch into those jerseys, man. You know, remember when Kevin Curtis wore those jerseys and he went out for like 200 yards?
That's just what I was about to say. Yeah, it did something good.
That's why that what made me start liking the jersey. I'm like, it works. It works. Whenever they wore them back then, they were winning some games with those jerseys on. So, yeah, man. Hey, shout out to the 10 in the chat. Please like and subscribe to both of our channels, man. We are growing. We are trying to give you the best Eagle content out there, you know, on the YouTube, you know, returning YouTube green, you know, go ahead and give them a little breakdown again of your channel where they can find you at on all your platforms, my guy.
All right. Well, you know, like I said, you know, just at YouTube, Eagles Talk from Delco. You know, I promise by tomorrow, Wednesday, I will have the Twitter handle for the channel. I didn't get around to making it yet, but you'll be able to find me there, and I'll upload pictures, and, you know, we'll talk and bust it up on there. Definitely go check out the channel, you know, watch a few videos, try it on for size. And if you decide you like what's going on, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. We're going to have a lot of fun. You know, the Eagles win. We're going to celebrate and break it down. They lose. Well, we'll commiserate together. But either way, I would love to see all you guys there.
Yes, sir. And we definitely going to do some work this season coming up, my guy. This ain't going to be the last time you're on the nation. And I'm always willing, whenever you're ready, to have me on your station, my guy. I'm always I like clapping on both sides. I don't just like having people on here. I like going to other places too. You know, you catch me in a lot of people chats doing my thing over there too as well. Hey,
well, like I said, man, you reached out to me, man. I really appreciate it. You know, I mean, I really had fun here tonight. I can't thank you enough, man. You real good dude. I mean, I know your channel is doing big. I'm going to continue to support it. You know, anybody I can send over there to sub you up. I want to see you get up to 2, 3, 4,000, to however many subscribers you can get, man. But good work, and Bird Gang 31. Thank you again, my brother. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you. The love's all here, baby.
No
Much
doubt.
love to you for coming on, and much love to all the BIRDGANG Nation. You know, I do this for you guys, man. I couldn't do it without you guys. Keep supporting, keep helping us grow. Oh, we got a last minute before we get out of here. Jaquette got cut. I figured he was going to get cut. You know, you didn't hear nothing from him all off season, but hey, thanks for the last minute update. Jaquette just got cut from the Eagles, you guys. So our depth at cornerback just dropped a little bit more. So, you know, hopefully that means McPherson's ready to roll, baby. You know, because I want him. They had him second. I think he was behind Slay on the depth chart already. So hopefully McPherson's ready and them other boys are ready to do their thing. You know, I know we got Josiah Scott behind Maddox. And then I don't remember who they said. I thought it was Chiquette that was behind Nelson. But I don't know who we got there now. So
Yeah, I think is it Craig James? Wasn't he like right behind?
Oh yeah, Greg James. Yeah, that was the other cornerback. And then it was Jaquette. Yeah, so Craig James behind them. Hey, hopefully we don't have to worry about backups this year. That's the main thing.
That's the hope. Health
Keep our
is the key.
starters healthy. Let's, you know, the whole season, you know, maybe for like a play or two, switch them out when they're tired type thing. But, you know, I want to see our starters go the whole year and show this league that we are a dominating team this year. So,
I mean, we're due for it, man. We're due for a healthy season. I mean, why can't this be it?
all right, you know, it is our time to shine. The young guns are coming. Jalen Hurts, it's Hurts season. Shout out to LB out there. You know what I'm saying? And we are definitely paying our rent every game this season. So be on the train, guys. Don't wait till the middle of the season to jump on the train. Get on the train now. Go support your Eagles, all your Eagle content creators, all the Eagle shows out there. Go out there and support them and show them love because the Eagles are going to do big things this year. You know, and like I always say, fly, Eagles, fly. And thank you for joining the BIRDGANG Nation Sports Talk. I am BIRDGANG 31, and we are out.
All right.
Peace.
Later.